What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey back with another whiteboard session. We are going to talk about something that's really intriguing for those of you who are building seven, eight, even nine or 10-figure businesses as well. One thing I hear a lot of people talk about over and over again is how do I find the right people? How do I build the right team? How do I find those people that are going to stick with me for the long haul, that are going to allow me to be able to grow my business more effortlessly without all the headaches? How do I have to keep chasing them, retaining them, etc.? We're going to talk about one aspect of it today, how to attract top tier talent, 1% talent to build a 1% business. So let's go to work. One challenge that keeps coming up over and over again, I see for so many entrepreneurs, is my camera's way off here. I don't know what you guys are looking at. All right. Missing all the flowers and everything. All right. Anyway, okay. One of the challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs are facing is that challenge of being able to find and hire the right people to be able to grow your team, right? When you start out, you're doing it yourself, you're doing everything yourself. But if you ever master this skill of being able to attract the right people, to hire the right people, put them in place, then you're going to be able to be infinitely successful, because you're only limited by the amount of people that you can be able to put in place to empower them to be able to do the things you want to be able to do. When you are working by yourself, or if everything rests on you as the leader, as in the buck stops here, with that sort of mentality, that everything you're doing is always going to be restricted to what you're capable of doing yourself, based on your strengths, based on your limitations. And what you're able to do is, by empowering other people to do other things in your organization, now you are working through the infinite power of those people, their network, their resources, their strengths, being able to plug them into your system to be able to, or even to be able to help to build your system even more powerfully to create more exponential growth. And so what we want to talk today is about 7 ways that you can make a shift in terms of how you're thinking about growing your business, how you can attract the top tier talent to be able to create that for yourself. Now, do me a favor, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, drop a comment below. Let me know where you're watching it from. And feel free to share this with anybody that you think it might be valuable for as well. Somebody in your team, your partner in your business, or just some other entrepreneurs that are in your circle that you know can benefit from this information. Share this with them as well. All right. And we're going to dive into this. Won't take long. We're not going to go super deep, but I want to be able to touch on these different aspects, these 7 keys to being able to grow your business, so that you can understand how you can attract the top tier talent and get out of your own way. Start building more momentum and being the catalyst for growth in your organization, right? So the first thing we want to do is understand that you're looking for the 1%, right? 1% talent. When you are Gary Keller, the author of The One Thing, Gary Keller built Keller Williams Realty. And one thing he said to me that's always stuck with me is that whenever he gets the idea for a new business, he doesn't actually launch the business until he finds the person that can run it. And he has a term for those people. He calls them empire builders, right? People who have a unique ability to be able to grow and operate and grow a business. And when they have that ability, you want to be able to find those people, because those are the ones who are going to have an uncanny, almost magical ability to be able to scale your business, to take an idea that you have and turn it into a real thing. And I know as founders and entrepreneurs, a lot of us have pride in the ability to be able to create and make things. But if you're really honest, there's a couple of things that happens when you call yourself a serial entrepreneur, or you're existing in this creative space. Creativity is addictive, right? And it feels magical to be able to engage in those ideas. But above and beyond that, we all have limitations. And very often the visionaries are the ones who come up with the idea and what it means and why it needs to be done that way. But we're often not the people who can carry it all the way through, right? There's always going to be a breakdown, a gap between your own skill set, your own zone of genius, your gift, and what you're able to actualize through the business. And so having people that are that top tier level of talent is going to allow you to be able to bridge that gap and to accelerate and collapse time to be able to get to the next level that you want to be able to go to, whether that's 7, 8, 9, 10 figures, whatever the case may be. The formula doesn't change. It's just what you need in place. And so being able to find those people, to attract them even, is a key element to being able to do this. You're looking for empire builders, right? And so you got to know what you're looking for, first of all, and that is the 1%, the top tier talent. Those are the people that you want to be diving into. It's not just about finding help, right? Because you don't want help to do what you're doing. What you're looking for are people that are going to be able to shift everything into high gear, that are going to be able to manage that so you can go back to your highest level of genius and being able to use your gift in ways that will empower them. And you can go off and actually create more things and live into that life that you have been longing to create for yourself, right? If you're bogged down in the day-to-day of things, if you're bogged down and always trying to find people to put out fires, and you're putting out fires yourself constantly, you wear yourself out, you wear yourself thin, and you slow down your progress and your ability to maintain momentum, right? So one of the things we want to make sure that we're focused on and understanding is how can we continuously attract that top tier talent. And so we start with number one, which is know their mindset. Why is this important? Because 1% talent thinks differently than the rest of the people. Right? They're not just highly competent, they see the world differently. They see business differently. And so to attract them, you need to know who they are and what they want most out of life. Now, you can't skip this step. It's just like market research for your business, for your product or your service. You got to know your audience. You got to know who those people are. You got to be able to speak to them in a unique way. And the same is true of top tier talent. It's amazing how many people do the same cookie cutter things and expect that 1% people are just going to rise to the top. And that's why they employ a lot of headhunters. There are a lot of talent headhunters out there, HR agencies that are always seeking these people. These people are always in high demand, right? And so they have the pick of the litter. What's going to make your business stand out from everything else? The other thing is that this top tier talent usually exists in other places. Like they already have a job. If they want to work, they're working for someone. Now, maybe they're happy, maybe they're not. You see a lot of incestuous or theft, if you will, theft behavior from Silicon Valley, and now Silicon Valley's in Austin and different places, whatever. But a lot of top firms are just stealing the same people, the same talent, and they're just in rotation in the industry. If you want to be able to create a high level of stickiness for your business, retain these people for longer so they can build more, right? You got to know how they think. And that knowing how they think is the first step in attracting them. So you got to be able to speak their language, understand what their values are, what really matters for them. How can you articulate to them in a manner that allows them to feel like this is the place for them, right? And they know that they're drawn to that, right? So know their mindset is the first thing. It's a step you can't skip. You have to know how they think. You have to know what matters to them. All right, what's going to separate you from everyone else is understanding what separates them from the rest, from the pack, right? The second thing you want to do is you want to be magnetic. And what does that mean? It's not just about the perks. It's not just about the salary, paying them more. Yes, they're worth more as a 1% talent, but money is not always the thing that they're looking for. If they've already had a track record of building things in the past, they've got a little money stashed away. Maybe money is not the ideal thing, or maybe it is, right? They feel like they've been undervalued where they are. And you understand that's part of their mindset. They're ready to level up. They're ready to put their stamp on things to get the credit that they really deserve, whatever, right? But being magnetic is about understanding that special talent knows that they're special, right? They want to do special things. So know what makes your opportunity appealing to them and not just to you, right? So you're not just going out making pitches to people saying, hey, we're building the most amazing widget, we're building the most amazing company, and you're making the regular pitches to people, right? It ties right into number one, which is know their mindset, but also you have to be magnetic, understand what is attracting them. And you need to build that as a leader and as an organization. You need to find out those gaps, find out what's not appealing. It may be even that the gaps that you have, the things that are breaking down are the things that are most appealing to them because they want to step in, they want to be able to fix those things and be able to put their stamp on, their signature on the business, the growth, and the elite impact that you're able to create through your business, right? So number 3 is kill the envy. And what do I mean by that? All right, so top tier talent can do one or two things. They can dazzle you with their brilliance, or they can terrify you with the same thing, right? And what I mean by that is that a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we don't like to admit the fact that we have egos too, right? We don't like to admit the fact that we're also high performers and high achievers. We don't like to admit the fact that we have, a chip on our shoulder. And so sometimes the reason why you can't find people or the reason why you can't retain 1% talent is because you're in some way, there's a little bit of jealousy there. You're jealous of their ability to do the things that you're not really gifted at. And so a lot of people, we've all had bosses, or we've all worked with people, partners, or whoever, who their greatest challenge is being able to work alongside other great people, right? If you look at sports teams, a lot of times people say, it'll never work because there's only one ball. How are you going to share all the balls? Everybody got to get their shots. Well, as one person famously said, it's amazing what you can do, what you can accomplish when you don't care who gets the credit. And so as an entrepreneur, the founder, the owner, you got to be able to step out and say, okay, it doesn't matter to me that I don't get credit for doing the thing that they're doing, because it's still your company, right? But if you share that and you're not envious of them and what they're able to create, then that creates an entirely different level of impact, and you can accelerate your growth because you're not holding them back, right? So what you don't want to create is a competition between yourself and your talent, right? Where you're fighting them on every idea, where you're fighting them tooth and nail over every little detail, right? They work for you. So you don't need to stifle or show dominance as a leadership style. That's not really sustainable, right? Keep the jungle outside of the firm. Keep the jungle outside of your business. The jungle is out there. You're fighting enough competition out there. You don't want to fight your own talent. All right. So number 4 is really simple. And it, again, relates to this. Surrender control. And you find this with every level of growth, is that as you grow your business to a certain level, you begin to master certain skill sets, right? And so the skill sets that you need to grow to a certain level are not the skill sets that you need to go to the next. So for instance, when you're going from 6 to 7 figures, right, there's certain things that you need to be able to master. When you're going from 7 to 8 figures, you have to learn how to let go of those things. And when you're letting go of it, you're not just delegating the responsibility to someone else. You're literally surrendering control of it. And you got to learn how to be able to empower people to be able to do that. Again, fighting for control. If you have to fight for control, you don't have it, first of all. But the stench of hand-to-hand combat is something that these top tier 1% people can smell on you, right? They know that, okay, this is going to be a boss. This is going to be a leader who's always going to be fighting me for different things. Yes, ma'am. You in here?
I need to become here since I did that.
Yes.
And I'm trying to find the senses is paper.
Okay, so you need the paper from downstairs in the basement, okay?
Yeah, but I couldn't find it.
All right, can you ask Nev to help you? Yes. She said no? Well, tell her I said to help you find it, okay? And then I'll be out in a little bit, okay? Okay. 3 more things to share with everybody, and then we'll be done, okay?
And
yes.
do your homework.
Yes, I'm doing my homework now. You got to do yours. All right. And close the door for me. Thank you. All right. So we're talking about surrender and control, right? And so it's funny because there's so many parallels between parenting and running a business, right? And in many cases, you can try and control your children. You can try and tell them, okay, these are the boundaries. You can't set this up. But in a lot of ways, you have to be able to empower them to make their own decisions. And that's what top tier talent is looking for. They're looking for the ability to be able to think through, to handle things on their own. Because if you're going to micromanage them, you don't need them, right? And they don't want to be micromanaged. So you got to learn how to let go of those elements of your own personality, right? Sometimes it can be, whatever the case may be, that's not what they're looking for. And if you want that top tier talent, if the outcome that you want is to be able to grow this outsized business, then you've got to be able to actually counterintuitively step back and let them do what you hired them to do. That's why you brought them there, right? And so you want to be able to empower them and not control them. They're not puppets, right? They're A players. Number 5 is really simple. Let's put it over here. All right. Number 5 is to evolve your leadership. Why is this important? Again, tying into the going to the next level, you have to be able to evolve as a leader to understand where you're going. And so, even though A-level players are empire builders, they're 1% talent in their competency and their skill set and the way that they see the world and the way they see business. They're still looking for you to be the leader that's a step ahead of them. And so you've got to be able to evolve your ability as a visionary to be able to articulate things and to be able to manage the people that are in your lives, right? So you're not putting out small fires for them, things of that nature, but you've got to be able to learn how to evolve yourself. The law of the lid, as John Maxwell talks about, no business will ever be able to grow beyond the capacity of its leader to be able to grow themselves, right? So you built what you built because of who you were, but to build something greater, you must become a greater leader. And so this means empowering top talent to really become supernovas, not just superstars, right? And so the mark of a great leader is the type of leaders that they're able to create. So are you able to create great leaders yourself? And if that's the case, when you see, um, uh, as they call it, like in the NFL, a coaching tree, when you see great coaches, you see that many of the other great coaches in the league for years and generations to come from that tree. They worked for them in some capacity. And they themselves were able to turn around and build their own dynasties in their own teams in different cities. And so that's what you're looking for. But that starts with you becoming or gaining the ability to evolve as a great leader, right? Checking here for the comments. Make sure you share with me if there's anything that you're discovering, any questions you have around this as well. All right, because we want to make sure that it's really relevant for you and really valuable. Number 6, I like this one. We call this feeding the wolves. Now, there's a great quote. I want to say it's from a poem, but honestly, I can't remember. But it it says that the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack, which simply means that empires are built by people, right? And people are built by relationships. So too many founders are, they are lone wolf types, or maybe they're partners, but the struggles with the conflict with their partners, they never really learn how to grow a tribe. They never really learn how to belong because many of them, including myself, have felt like outsiders for so long. And so you kind of have this chip on your shoulder. You're kind of always trying to prove yourself. Um, and so you can attract people like that, which, often cases can be beneficial. But in reality, you've also got to learn how to care about people. And many entrepreneurs, if they're loners, then they are isolated. They don't know how to communicate and articulate to people well. They don't know how to deal with their board and manage people and manage situations, right? But the more you care about people, the more you will attract people who really care. And 1%ers are the people that it really matters to them that they are successful in what they're doing. They're going to eat, sleep, and drink this idea, this vision that you have shared with them and they've adopted for their very own. And so you've got to be able to feed the wolves. You've got to be able to give them what they need as a human being to be able to operate at the highest possible level. And that goes into your leadership, but that goes into also kind of number 7, which is that culture is king, right? And so when we talk about culture, we're talking about the things that define what you do, how you think about what you do, how that practically plays out in your day-to-day operations in your organization. And so the way that you talk about hiring, the way that you talk about your marketing, the way that you're articulating your brand, the way that your sales team runs things, everything that is articulated in a very, very specific and unique manner is going to be the thing that is attractive or repellent to the top tier talent that you're looking for, right? A players want to belong in a place where they know that they can thrive, right? And you see this in the ecology of natural world, right? Where certain bacteria, certain elements, certain animals thrive in certain environments, right? And so if you want lions, you've got to be able to build a place where lions are going to be able to thrive, right? And lions who live in the jungle, they hunt in this particular place, they feed off of certain things. That culture needs to be one that allows them to thrive. So they are not coming in to transform a culture per se, but coming in to enhance a culture that allows them to be able to be the best that they can be. Culture is king. And if you're looking for top tier talent, A1 players, then you need those people on your side, period. All right. So let me know in the comments if this has been valuable for you. In you making the shift, you can be the person that can build this top tier team. You absolutely can do it. If you're not yet that person, you can evolve. And so we talk a lot about this when we're working with our clients, how we can empower them to be able to build this culture, to tweak or fill in the gaps for things that people need to be able to do the things they're doing. Good to see you, Joseph. Love the stuff that you're sharing, man. Appreciate you stopping through. One of the things that I would encourage you to do is reach out to us and our team. Let us know how we might be able to support you. Let's have the conversation. Whatever the case may be, we're here to support you in doing that because we are collaboratively helping to build $100 million plus businesses. And yours could be the next one, if it's not already, right? Thanks for stopping by, sharing this time with us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, smash the like button if you're on YouTube. Make sure you're a subscriber over there. The link is in the comments. Link is in the description. As always, my name is Frederick Douglass Bussey, founder of Icon Status. We're working collaboratively, as I said, with entrepreneurs to build $100 million plus businesses. And we'd love to be able to support you in what you're doing. We're back again for another whiteboard session. Until the next time, ever forward.